So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, Malignaggi has made some comments about the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder trilogy. He says he expects Tyson Fury to absolutely obliterate Deontay Wilder. He feels that Deontay Wilder will get destroyed. We all know that Malignaggi and Deontay Wilder, they've had some history, and what I mean by that is, I'll tell you what happened. Malignaggi was calling the fight with Deontay Wilder and the Tyson Fury first fight, and Malignaggi was very strong about the scorecards. He was very strong about the fact that he felt Fury won the fight. And I think a lot of people felt that. And let me tell you something about Malignaggi. I feel for him because this is a guy, for me, is one of the best analysts in the game. I feel like he's one of the best at breaking fights down. And I love listening to Malignaggi, the way he breaks it down. You know what other thing I love about Malignaggi is the fact that Malignaggi says it how he sees it. There's a lot of guys that don't say it how he sees it. Malignaggi does not care about upsetting people because he speaks the truth, or he speaks what he sees. He speaks the truth. There isn't no bias agenda in Malignaggi, and that's why I love Malignaggi. That's what I expect from every single analyst, every single guy that is calling a fight. I expect them to be like that, and Malignaggi is like that. That's why I like Malignaggi as an analyst, and that's why I hope that one of these big broadcasters gives him a job, hopefully DAZN. You know, I don't want to go into what happened with Showtime and stuff. I think we already know what happened, but I hope Malignaggi can get a job with a big broadcaster, because he deserves it, because he's really good at the job. And Malignaggi, in that fight, that first Deontay Wilder Fury fight, he had Fury winning, and he was upset. And he was upset with the judges. He made his feelings known. You know, this is a guy that is not afraid of making his feelings known, and he doesn't care about upsetting people. I remember this guy years ago when he came to the UK. He said that Amir Khan is a way better fighter than Ricky Hatton, and he said that in the UK. And he knew that he would get backlash for those comments, because he knew that Ricky Hatton was adored by the British fans. And he even said that. He goes that the British fans seem to love Ricky Hatton. They don't have the same kind of affection with Amir. But I'm just going to be brutally honest that Amir Khan is a better fighter than Ricky Hatton. I faced both of them, and I'm in a position to give my opinion. And Paulie gave his opinion because he says it how it is. He doesn't care about upsetting people. He doesn't care of who he's upsetting. He says what he feels. And that's what I feel an analyst should be like. And with this Wilder Fury, he said what he feels. He said what he feels. And to be honest with you, I had Fury winning that fight. Many other people had Fury winning that fight. So to be honest, Malignaggi only said what a lot of people were feeling. And that's why a lot of fans love Malignaggi. That's why a lot of fans like his commentary, because they know he says it how it is. They know he says what a lot of the fans are saying. See, there's a lot of commentators that have certain agendas. They don't say it openly. People like Malignaggi, the reason why they're liked by a lot of the fans, because they speak openly. They're not afraid of saying, they're not afraid of upsetting people. And for me, what happened is Malignaggi, I think, upset Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder, obviously, Paulie was very emotional after the fight. And, you know, he said what he said, and said what he said about the judges. And Deontay Wilder obviously must have seen that. And then Deontay Wilder, I think, tried to get Malignaggi off the team, you know, for his fights or whatever. And I think Paulie felt very strongly about that. He felt a very strong way that, you know, I was saying what I feel, and you know, I think he tried to get him off. And I actually think that maybe I actually think Paulie didn't take it that badly. I still think he tries to be as fair as possible. But I definitely think that, you know, when someone tries to get you off, get you to stop working, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel not too great about that, you know. And I'm pretty sure Paulie held something you know, inside about, you know, Deontay Wilder trying to get him basically sacked. But nevertheless, that all happened. So that's just a little bit of a backstory. I don't think that has played a part in him giving this opinion, by the way. I just think he genuinely believes Fury's got the better skills and he's the better fighter. And Deontay Wilder, Paulie Malignaggi also said something about Deontay Wilder, that Deontay Wilder, he doesn't mind Deontay Wilder saying the stuff he's saying, because fighters are delusional at times, and he's making himself believe that he can beat Tyson Fury. There's nothing wrong with that. He went and said some other stuff which I won't go into as well. But my take on it is that I do agree with Paulie Malignaggi that I picked Tyson Fury. However, I do disagree to a slight extent. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to obliterate Deontay Wilder. And I actually think this fight, the third fight, the trilogy, I actually think is going to be a lot harder for Tyson Fury. I'm just getting that feeling. I know Paulie Malignaggi said Deontay Wilder's not good at fighting on the back foot. I just get the feeling this is going to be a lot harder for Tyson Fury than what people think. And Tyson Fury is a guy that I think mentally switches off. Usually I've seen that when he's a big favorite in a fight or he's expected to win, sometimes he can take it lightly. And Otto Wallin's a great example, and there's been other fights which have been great examples early on in his career. And in this type of fight, you only need to switch off for a second and you could be out. You could be out. I actually think Wilder has a greater chance of pulling this off now than he did a year ago. Because I think a year ago, Deontay Wilder mentally was in a bad place. He was physically not in a great place because we know he had an injury. Mentally, he wasn't in a great place. I actually think he looks in a lot better place now mentally, and physically he's recovered also, right? He has, or what I should say, he's had longer to recover. So I give Deontay Wilder a bet. Not to say I'm picking him. I'm giving Deontay Wilder a better chance. Also, Deontay Wilder has had a long time to work on a game plan in how to beat Tyson Fury. And I'm pretty sure Deontay Wilder is going to come in with a plan, a game plan on how to beat Tyson Fury. And they'd be working on that game plan for a very long time. I just don't think Deontay Wilder can come into this fight against Tyson Fury like he did in a lot of his fights, where he just felt eventually I'm going to land that big right hand. Tyson Fury, as I've said many times in the past, he's too good, he's too slick, he's too intelligent, he's too clever for that. You have to come with strategy. You have to come with setting traps. You're not just going to land a right hand on Tyson Fury. You're going to have to set traps and set that right hand up. And I think Paulie Malignaggi would also mention that he doesn't know whether Deontay Wilder can fight going back. And when Tyson Fury comes from a background where they love to fight. They love to bully you and come forward and put it on you. And he just doesn't know whether Deontay Wilder can make the right adjustments or adapt like he needs to adapt in order to win that fight. And he may be right. He may be right. Paulie, I think, may be right. I just get the feeling that I think this fight's going to be a lot harder than what people think. And I don't think it's going to be because I think Deontay Wilder is going to come better for sure. He's going to come with a game plan. I just worry about Tyson Fury and where he is mentally. Like, what I mean by that is how he approaches the fight. Is he going to switch off? I know people are saying, well, there's a lot of money on the line and the AJ fight. No, I still feel that Tyson Fury feels that he's going to destroy Deontay Wilder and he may take his eye off the ball. And these things can happen naturally when you're someone like Fury, because he does that. He switches off. The Otto Wallin fight is an example. It's a tough fight. Many other fights early on in his career ended up being a lot tougher than what they thought. The Steve Cunningham fight, where he thinks he's a lot superior to the opponent. He's just on another level, and he ends up getting a reality check. And I think with this fight, he knows the dangers that Wilder brings. But I just think that the fact that he beat him so easy the second time, I actually think from a mental standpoint, he thinks that he's going to be able to do that again. And if the fight doesn't play out as it did last time in a dominant fashion, Wilder builds confidence. I do think that we could see an upset here. Again, like I said, I think more than what Deontay Wilder's going to do, I'm more worried what Tyson Fury's going to do, and how he's going to be mentally. How's he going to be in the ring more than what Deontay Wilder is going to do. I think that could also be a big factor in Wilder getting the win. But the smart money, and I think most people will be picking Tyson Fury. But like I said, I don't think this fight is going to be as one-sided and as easy as what people think. I just don't see it. I think this is going to be a lot more competitive. A lot more competitive. When I mean competitive, I mean I think there's going to be a lot more sticky moments for Tyson Fury than there was in the second fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury gets dropped. I wouldn't be surprised if he even gets knocked out. But I do favor Tyson Fury to win this fight. However, I do think there's going to be a lot harder than the second fight. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as the second fight. I think Wilder's going to come better. Hopefully Fury comes as good as last time, if not better. But if we do see a drop in Fury's performance, we may see an upset here. But like I said, only time will tell. I am not at the belief that this is an easy fight. When you got Deontay Wilder's punching power, this is not an easy fight for anybody. Not an easy fight. And I've always said that I feel all these heavyweights, I do feel Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight. However, I have said that I think all these heavyweights are capable of beating each other. Let's not forget, the first Tyson Fury fight, Wilder was very close to winning that fight. And people say Tyson Fury wasn't in shape and he wasn't fit. No, I don't think it was anything to do with that. He was in shape. He was fit, because he wouldn't have been able to go 12 rounds if he wasn't. It was the way he fought the first time that made Deontay Wilder more dangerous. The second time, it was nothing to do with the fact that he was fitter, nothing to do with that. It was the way he fought. Deontay Wilder didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to handle that style. It had nothing to do with it. He was a half fit. People keep mentioning, oh, Tyson Fury wasn't fit the first time. What's that got to do with anything? He went 12 rounds. He was fit. Where did Tyson Fury show fatigueness in that first fight? It was his fighting style. Deontay Wilder is too dangerous for you to fight on the back foot, looking to be slick and box and move. Deontay Wilder, when you push him back, he can't fight going backwards. So Tyson Fury realized that in the 12th round of their fight, that this guy can't fight. In the first fight, he realized in the 12th round, when Fury got up and he started pushing Wilder back, he realized that this guy can't fight going backwards. That's why Tyson Fury stuck it on him in the second fight. He pushed Wilder back. And that's why he was successful in the second fight. So it had nothing to do with, oh, it was a half-fit Fury. No. Fury fought the wrong fight against Wilder. See, he fought a fight where he was looking to fight a fight like Klitschko. The difference is Wilder, he's very reckless. If you give him space, he's very fast. He's going to get you somewhere along the way. It had nothing to do with fitness. It was just that Fury fought the wrong fight. Fury has to pressure Wilder. If Fury gives Wilder space in this third fight, there's a great chance Wilder chins him. Because 36 minutes is a long time for you to avoid and slick and dodge somebody with that kind of punching power. Fury found a way on how to beat him, and that's the pressure and put him on the back foot. But again, if that strategy this time doesn't work, maybe Wilder's more improved. Maybe, you know, Fury gets hit with a shot early this time and it wobbles him, it hurts him, he gets put off his... A lot of things can happen in a fight. So, again, I don't expect this fight to be as clinical as the second one was. I think Wilder's going to be a more dangerous... I think he's going to be more competitive in this fight. So, that's just my take. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you guys think? Let me know. Make sure to smash that like button, guys. I really appreciate the support over the last couple of months. Smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't. Join all my social media platforms, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.